নমস্কাৰ ওয়েলকাম টু দি পলিটিক্যাল ইনসাইডাৰ পলিটিক্যাল ইনসাইডাৰলৈ সকলোকে স্বাগতম জনাইছো মৰমৰ ছাত্ৰ-ছাত্ৰীসকল আজি মই এটা নতুন ভিডিঅলৈ তোমালোকৰ মাজলৈ আহিছো আজি মই আলোচনা কৰিম এইচএছ সেকেন্ড ইয়াৰৰ পলিটিক্যাল সায়েন্সৰ অন্তৰ্গত পাৰ্ট এ কন্টেম্পৰেৰী ওয়াৰ্ল্ড পলিটিক্সৰ প্ৰথমটো অধ্যায় বা চেপ্টাৰ 1 দ্য কোল্ড ওয়াৰ ইৰা ইতিমধ্যে তোমালোকে স্ক্ৰিনত দেখিছাই যে মই আজি আলোচনা কৰিম এই চেপ্টাৰটোৰ লগত থকা 1 and 2 marksৰ questions and answer আৰু আটাইতকৈ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ বিষয়টো হ'ল যে আজিৰ এই ভিডিঅটোৰ মিডিয়াম হ'ব ইংলিছ গতিকে যি সকল ছাত্ৰ-ছাত্ৰীয়ে ইংৰাজী মাধ্যমত উচ্চতৰ মাধ্যমিক দ্বিতীয় বৰ্ষৰ পৰীক্ষাৰ বাবে প্ৰিপাৰেচন চলাই আছে তেওঁলোকে নিশ্চয় এই ভিডিঅটোৰ জৰিয়তে লাভৱান্বিত হ'ব আজিৰ পৰা মই চেষ্টা কৰিম যাতে এইচএছ সেকেন্ড ইয়াৰ পলিটিক্যাল সায়েন্সৰ সমূহ চেপ্টাৰে মই ইংৰাজী মাধ্যমত তোমালোকৰ বাবে আগবঢ়াই দিব পাৰো হেহে ভিডিঅ'সমূহ চাই থাকিবা এইখিনিতে মই কৈ থব বিচাৰিছো যে উচ্চতৰ মাধ্যমিক দ্বিতীয় বৰ্ষৰ ৰাজনীতি বিজ্ঞানৰ সকলোবোৰ অধ্যায়ৰ লগত সংগতি থকা প্ৰশ্ন উত্তৰসমূহ মই ইতিমধ্যে অসমীয়া মাধ্যমত আলোচনা কৰি ভিডিঅ' আকাৰত আপলোড কৰিছো গতিকে যি সকল ছাত্ৰ-ছাত্ৰীয়ে এই চেনেলটোত প্ৰথমবাৰলৈ আহিছা তোমালোকে সেই সমূহ ভিডিঅ' চাই ল'ব পাৰিবা আৰু তাৰ বাবে তোমালোকে ডেসক্ৰিপচন বক্সত গৈ তাত থকা লিংকসমূহ ক্লিক কৰিলে হ'ল গতিকে আহা এতিয়া আমি ভিডিঅ'টো আৰম্ভ কৰো আৰু ভিডিঅ'টোৰ শেষলৈকে চাই থাকিবা Question number 1 What is meant by Cold War? Answer Cold War means a situation among the nations of the world when a very tense atmosphere prevails but there is no actual fighting or war. It is a competition and tensions between United States bloc and Soviet Union bloc. Question number 2. When did Cold War begin? Answer. The Cold War began after end of the Second World War. Question number 3. Write the full form of NATO. The full form of NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Next, what is Warsaw Pact? Answer. The Soviet Union created the Eastern Bloc with Eastern European countries. It occupied annexing some and maintaining others as satellite states, some of which were later consolidated as the Warsaw Pact. Question number 5. What was the principal function of Warsaw Pact? The principal function of Warsaw Pact was to counter NATO's forces in Europe. 6. Correct the sentence. The USA was committed to the ideology of socialism. And the answer is, the USA was committed to the ideology of capitalism, not socialism. Next, fill in the blank. The end of the Second World War was the beginning of, answer, the Cold War. 8. Mention the period of the Cold War era. Answer, the period of the Cold War era was from 1945 to 1991. 9. Write yes or no. Cold War was a competition between the US and Soviet Union and their respective allies. Answer, yes. 10. What was the principal function of Warsaw Pact? Answer, mutual defense of member countries or to counter. 11. Write the full form of NIEO or NEO. Answer, New International Economic Order. 12. What do you mean by CENTO or CENTO? Answer, Central Treaty Organization. 13. What is deterrence? Answer, to prevent or discourage. In simple words, the act of making someone decide not to do something. Next, what is LOCs? Answer, line of control. 15. Write the full form of name. NAM. Answer, non-aligned movement. 16. What was the Cuban crisis? Answer, the Cuban crisis represented the high point of the Cold War and fortunately it never escalated into a hot war. 17. What is UNCTAD? Answer, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. 18. Name two superpowers. Answer, Soviet Russia and United States of America. Does name stand for isolation? Answer, no. Name does not stand for isolation. 20. In which year USA dropped 2 atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Answer: 1945. And the last question, what is LDC? Answer: Least Development Countries. Now we are going to discuss the 2 marks questions and answers. First one, what is meant by Allied and Axis powers of the Second World War? Answer: Allied powers were USA, USSR, Britain and France. On the other hand, Axis powers were Germany, Italy and Japan. Question number 2. How did Second World War come to an end? Answer: The Second World War came to an end when the USA dropped 2 atomic bombs, Little Boy and Fat Man, in Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, causing Japan surrender near Allied forces. Question number 3. Name the 2 superpowers that emerged after the Second World War. The 2 superpowers which emerged after the Second World War were the US and Soviet Union. Next, name the 2 places where atom bombs were dropped in the Second World War. Answer: Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 5. Why did the superpowers need small allies? The superpowers entered into military alliance with smaller countries due to the following reasons. First, smaller states were helpful for the superpowers in their gaining access to vital resources such as oil and minerals. Second, access to location from where they could spy on each other. Third, access to locations or territory from where the superpowers could launch their weapons and troops. Last one, economic support in that many small allies together could help pay for military expenses. 6th number question, what is meant by Western Alliance and Eastern Alliance? Answer: Western Alliance meant Western Europe with USA, and on the other hand, those countries of Eastern Europe which joined in the Soviet camp is called Eastern Alliance. Name 2 arms control agreements signed by the 2 superpowers. Answer: The 2 arms control agreements signed by the 2 superpowers were Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. 8. When and where the first non-aligned summit held? Answer: The first non-aligned summit was held in Belgrade in 1961. 9. What was the declaration of NATO states? Answer: The declaration was that the NATO states pledged the mutual defense of any member states who would be attacked and constitutes a system of collective security. Next, thus NEO was just an idea that never became an order? Answer: NEO was not an idea, but it became an order. 11. What do you mean by logic of deterrence? Answer: It means presence of nuclear weapons. The 2 superpowers behaved in a more national manner which aimed at avoidance of another big war. 12. Write the root cause of the beginning of the Cold War. Answer: Ideological differences between USA and USSR was the root cause of the beginning of the Cold War. 13. Why the small states were helpful to superpowers? Smaller states were helpful for the superpowers in their gaining access to vital resources such as oil and minerals, access to locations on territory from where the superpowers could launch their weapons and troops. Question number 14. What is the Allied forces and Axis power? Answer: Allied power or answer: Allied powers or Allied forces were USA, USSR, Britain and France. On the other hand, Axis powers were Germany, Italy and Japan. Next, 15. Identify 3 countries which belong to Communist bloc. Answer: USSR, Hungary and Poland. 16. Is non-alignment a negative policy? Answer. No. Non-alignment is not a negative policy. 17. What was the root cause of the beginning of the Cold War? Answer. Ideological differences between USA and USSR was the root cause of the beginning of Cold War. 18. Name any 4 countries which were decolonized following the end of the Second World War. Answer. India, Ghana, Myanmar and Cuba. 19. When and where 20th NATO Summit was held? Answer. NATO Summit was held in Chicago, USA in 2012. 20. Name the countries that joined the Soviet bloc. Hungary, Albania, Czechoslovakia, Germany, Bulgaria, Poland. 21. What is Truman Doctrine? Answer. The American President Truman started a program of containment of Soviet Union by providing aid to Western European countries or states. Through this doctrine, according to C. Culpin, the USA would help any country threatened by communism so that communism does not advance further. The last question is, write a note on the Marshall Plan. Answer. In 1947, Marshall, the US Secretary of State, put forward a plan to give billions of dollars of aid to Europe so that it could recover from the shattering effects of the war. If USA did not do so, it would have been left on its own to face the USSR. Western European countries had to be made strong enough to defend themselves. মৰমৰ ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীসকল আজিলৈ ইমানখিনি আছিল এনেদৰে ৰাজনীতি বিজ্ঞান তথা অন্যান্য বিষয়ত নতুন ভিডিঅ' পাবৰ কাৰণে চাই থাকিবা পলিটিকেল ইনসাইডাৰ আজিলৈ ইমানতে এৰিছো